Well, that's not a reliable denial. That's just your game plan. That was easy. Oh, fuck. She sold her house and got an apartment, Belinda's saying. Well, that's interesting. Good for her. Good for her. She closed that option at this point in time. 100%, absolutely 100% did not. And I'll be holding that until my last day on this planet. It's going to be sooner than you think, you little bitch. He sees that coming too. There's another death reference. This is way back on May 15th, by the way. It's not recent by any means. Did Patty not sell her house and go into the apartment helicopter ground? Money spent by MBM and DM? Did Patty not sell her house? You confused me with that question. If he was deep in the rugs, he was probably out scoping for sure. Guys, Ilya, that's an extension cord through the window, not a water, not a garden hose. Usually have water hookups on the outside of the RV. Why would you be running? She's got an extension. She's just got a thicker extension cord, it looks like. I guess it could be a water hose. I haven't looked at it closely, but don't think it's water. It's not going to be... You're going to have to keep that thing fucking flowing constantly. No, there is no running water out in the RV. And by putting a water or hose through the window doesn't mean you have running water in the RV. You've got a fucking hose. Okay? Yeah, helicopter grandma. I just read that from Belinda. How much of a piece of shite do you have to be to steal from Patty? Well, Norbeaster. I think you have your answers are on the screen. I got a full-size washer out of your apartment for $100 lately used. Look like brand new, running 4 years now. Yeah. Yeah, they're cheap. Yeah, there you go. Here's your answer right here. Chelsea Gray, 86. The driveway was filled with prints everywhere when I arrived. All types. I assume from the steady flow of people and cars. Clear children's prints on the bank. So it's wet ground in the spring. I would have to say that Janie was out there covering up all of the activity from the night before. That's probably... Now, the question is that the only answer? Is there more to it than that? Is it more than just the tire traffic and that? Patriot Girl, Daniel will never tell. He'll be caught. Fuck, he'll be spilling the beans. They're gonna... Who knows how this is gonna play out? But when the shit hits the fan for them... Okay, out of my cupboards, please. What the hell did you grab? Oh yeah, go right ahead then. Cucumbers, eh? When the shit hits the fan in the interview room, it's going to, I believe, come by way of Malaya. As soon as they can verify the contradictions through Malaya and open them up an accurate area to question, as in ask these people the right questions, they're not going to be able to leave. They're not going to want to give the answers to all of that. Oh, Shannon, God bless you, darling. Thank you very much for that super sticker. Oh, 20 Aussie dollars. I appreciate that. Oh, I skipped one. Janie's a Timu mama. Danny looks like an ashtray. Justice is coming for this Carney family. There you guys go judging again. There's somebody for everybody out there. Even in Pictou County. Can you imagine? You can even make a good living being a prostitute in Pictou County. There's not that many people. These morons are one banjo away from being a Deliverance reboot. Okay, out of my freezer. Out. 1 second, please. These morons are one banjo away. I read that. Chelsea, interesting. The scent dogs didn't hit on those. What are you thinking the scent dogs are going to hit on? Their imprint, their scent print fades over time, so you can still have a boot print there. And after, especially on in the spring, have moisture draw it over, and there's not going to be as much or any scent there, and the print would still remain. The Patriot Girl, the bus comes and picks them up every day at the end of the driveway. So I don't even give a shit about the scent dogs, what the fuck they're doing. We know none of this bullshit happened. The kids did not wander away. Not even on the cards. In the cards, I should say. But yeah, ideally, but you have to do some interpretation of what that means. The kids didn't walk out the door on their own down to the end of the driveway and get picked up by somebody else. Question is, did they make it home? Did they make it home Thursday? See, they don't want to talk about anything regarding their conflict that they were having at all. The ongoing conflict, Malaya moving on up out of the house. Something escalated between those two during all of this time they had to spend together. The kids weren't in school. Dan knows it's over. It's escalating. He's getting more comfortable and insulting her, throwing hands. Look at, he's holding her down. There's conflict between them. They're not fixing, reconciling. It's not getting any better. In fact, it's getting worse. She's talking to Cindy and Patty on the phone all about their relationships. It's driving Daniel up the wall because he wants to be the one probably to sort out her problems for her. But he's the problem. Do you know what that problem is, Danny? You're a fucking tweaking liar, dude. Okay? You've been tweaking and lying and treating her like shit for all of this fucking time. She's gotten sick of you. The point of no return is past. And Daniel doesn't fucking like that whatsoever. You mix that with his inability to control his emotions while under the influence, and he's getting high all the time. He went and took it out on the kids. He took something out on the children to hurt Malaya in the moment. He probably wish he did it differently, I would expect, at this point in time. But these people have no fucking problem lying at any one point in time in an attempt to save themselves. And it's a feeble attempt. Helicopter grandma. You think, what are you talking about? What's getting out of hand? You mean whatever emotions, their conflict, you mean? Carp DM, good day. Welcome. This conflict wasn't resolving itself, it was escalating. The kids were already being treated like shit. Right, Ilya. The document said Cindy would have seen them on video chat. Not she did see them. Exactly. Malaya said that she would have seen them on video chat. That's coming from Malaya, a liar, a known liar in this circumstance. And it was unverified. Yet you're recalling that correctly, girl. The document said... Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Julie, I assume the police can't even prove the kids were there the night before. I think they kind of insinuate that. They said, Lori, the last time that they can verify the kid's alive is on CCTV. Everything else is unverifiable to them at the time of investigating. They need further investigating. It requires further information. Not that they're giving up. That's the point of getting all of this signed off. Could have gotten into the rugs in the car on the way home. No, I think it's too much of your imagination there. Listen, even if they did, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to die as soon as they touch the substance? People ingest the substance all the time. Kids don't just go and grab an unknown substance and just shove it down their throat and eat it until death. I wouldn't ever say the kids themselves got into any substances. I would say that they were given the substances before I'd say anything. Oh, it was an accident. They just got into the substances like you do and overdosed. One, if you're of that ilk, you don't know anything about drugs or substances. It's just your imagination. Again, it's painting a situation where you could put the blame onto somebody else rather than go full-fledged fucking crazy and commit even more felonies after the fact so you don't have to be held to account in the court of law. You don't risk going for a life in prison when, you could have got off with a misdemeanor. Extreme example, but... In your opinion, Jack and Lily unalived Thursday night, early hours into Friday, right? And it was right after. So, just before midnight, when thereabouts, where Bradley Wong noted that the traffic began, remember, between the hours of 12 and 4, 12 and 5? Just before then. Maybe an hour, the 11 o'clock hour, the 10 o'clock hour. Shouldn't kids be in bed and sleeping at that point in time? You'd think so. But again, they track the kids all over Hell's Half Acre. Like, what the fuck are you doing out grocery shopping at 8 o'clock at night at a Walmart with the kids when, one, you don't fucking work, you don't do anything else except get high, So what is it that you're out and about for at 8 o'clock at a Walmart? To me, that doesn't make any fucking sense. They're out there scoring, or they're getting another hit. That's crackhead fucking logic that they bring. There's no reason to have your kids out and at a Walmart grocery shopping on a school night when they're supposed to be, one, sick. So there's other shit going on. They are out and about, not prioritizing the needs of the children, and that's typical. Sadness, confusion. See, when you're confused about something, you know exactly what it is that you're confused about and what you don't know. Therefore, that would be primarily the things that you would be conversing of should this have been a legitimate scenario. But they're talking about each and every detail in ways that just are so bizarre. Anything but talking about what really happened. What did you do last night? I don't remember. Oh, I don't know. I don't keep track of time. It's not for me. What else was in that garbage? But that blanket was just another area where Daniel publicly was recorded misrepresenting it, talking about it all different ways. And Janie talks about it like it was a real family event. She's talking about it in a way where Daniel would remember it and would not have misrepresented it, said he didn't know what it was, as opposed, and then changing it down the line and recognizing the blanket. But it's just minuscule at this point in time because none of them want to talk about its relevance. Now, looking at it now in hindsight, I believe that it has more to do with him trying to make it look like there's a natural reason that there's reason to be down there near the pipeline, because the blanket was found in the tree not too far away from the entrance. So there was a reason to be looking in that direction. Therefore, the cops are likely to be less suspicious of Daniel avoiding them with a blanket that might be tied to them, and not to mention another boot print 500 fucking meters back, in the middle of this field. Well, that is some fucking luck, I'd say. Can you believe it? Guys, we found another track way out here in the randomness, just in the middle of fucking nowhere, of all of the places to be. Here's a boot print. I think I'm onto something. Well, think about that. So he's eager to introduce how far away another boot print could be, therefore justifying all of this area and time to be out searching in. But yet the fucking guy somehow managed to find a boot print in the middle of nowhere out of all of the places. There's a boot print that old Danny found, I'm sure, or one of his friends. And you're sure that it's Lily's. It has relevance to this situation. Are you fucking kidding me? It looks even more suspicious. It's not an example of a 6 and a 4-year-old running off somewhere, especially over 2 miles, 2.5 miles away. Good luck. Oh, there must have been a sale on at the Dunkin' Donuts. Maybe the kids were going to get a coffee or something. Yeah. Crime Science. Excuse me, Crime Science. Good to see you. Thank you. My heaven's sakes. Shannon, in my opinion, Jack and Lily ABUSED and neglected more than what has so far been said. Yeah, you have a right to think that way. You wouldn't be wrong to wonder. Yeah, NYC Boomer, I'm with you. But it would make sense because There's no reason for them to be out there in the first place. Not saying that the kids couldn't wander or get that far. We're talking that particular day with these particular kids. No. What would possess them to do that and get that far in the first place and still not be anywhere around to be found? Was he making it look to be like somebody stopped by in the four-wheeler and strapped them to the front and the back of it, tied them down, and drove off? He was eager to be and make it look like he was actually trying to search for the kids and he was close to finding them. Could you even imagine that this stupid son of a bitch is telling you that he heard Lily, but the helicopter drowned out her screams. He was sure he heard Lily. Like, talk about planting false hope with people in that moment. It's in the moment. He's going and doing too much. In the cold, no coats. Where's Jack's pull-up? Danny brings it up. Well, I'm sure he doesn't have his pull-up. It'll be filled by now. I hope the kids are warm. Pretty sure that they're not going to be fucking warm. If they did indeed walk away. But they did everything in their power to keep us in that state of mind for as long as possible in the first 6 weeks of this situation. Till it became too unbearable. They're so sure about what had happened, and Janie needed to have the CBC come over and show them exactly where this happened. It happened. The it and the this that she never likes to describe or commit to linguistically. The it and the this that you're supposed to assume. Too sick to go to school, but not a doctor, but well enough to take them to the mall. Such BS, exactly. You spent all that time dragging them around the city all day for 2 days. Why? Did it really take both of you? Did you have to take Malaya to her appointment? Not really. Like, this dynamic between them is just fucking bizarre. They're anything but a happy family in that sense. Oh, Daniel insists that he's got to be around her at all times because she gets overwhelmed with the kids. Does anybody believe that? Like, that's actually a thing. Get the fuck out of here. And especially for this idiot, this asshole who's he's not a great human being, but he's not an engaging father in that sense, who's high on the mathematics, a dissociative substance. Again, he's doing too much. Oh, I track my girlfriend's whereabouts just because we love each other. It's for trust. Like trust comes on an app on your phone. For him, it does. It's the Google Find My Phone app. The Google Locations. The Trust Me app. Oh, trust me, I left my phone at home. He's not a big... He think about that. He never takes his phone, doesn't appreciate the in an emergency situation... You're out there searching, so you say, but you don't take your phone with you in order to communicate with anybody else. Well, how effective do you think you're going to be? Thank God it wasn't a real emergency. But he contradicts himself too, because he wants to use the excuse that he doesn't really bother with his phone much, which is just a out and out lie, because he tracks Malaya. No, you use your phone all the time. I'd love to search his phone. I would love to search his phone. To dig out all those old photos of all the cock shots. Just dox the fuck out of them all over the internet. Something may have happened when he turned the lights on if the kids were there. You know what we're talking about. He couldn't let her out of his sight once he had her new license plate. What does that have to do with anything, Sandra? You get a temporary sticker for your windshield, right? When you first get a car or whatever you need. In my opinion, it's clear 2 kids unalived and adults that don't want to go to prison. Yeah, Shannon. That's the one thing that we do believe, that they don't want to go to prison for this. That's evident. Father had to bring the kids with them because they wouldn't leave the children with the Academy Award-winning Janie. That's a great observation, Vivalda. Is that the only reason? Well, yeah, I would think so. This is Daniel's problem. He's an adult now. He can look after his own problems. You don't need me as... I'm already giving you a free place to stay. Now you want me to babysit too? Yeah, I don't think... You think Janie's going to go for that? I don't think so. She's probably got a Rolodex of excuses. I'm busy. I'm renovating the RV. Listen, she is not fucking happy to be out there in the RV to begin with. No way. No way is she happy. It's something that you're going to hear about at every turn. Well, Michelle, it's interesting to me in that moment that Malaya was speaking almost in a philosophical sense, trying to generalize it and talk as though it was at a wake as opposed to an emergency situation. Here's the pertinent information, and here's where my mind is right now. She's talking about how everybody's filled with a certain emotion and this and that. And they don't know what happened? Let's figure that one out. We're not the type of people. She didn't even know what the fuck she wanted to say. She never believed the words that were coming out of her mouth. She always had to stop herself, stumble over her words, stutter, insert something in the middle of her sentences about telling you how they're not the types of people, for example, and then go on to tell you that they were the types because they're drifting in and out of sleep according to your story, but then you follow and say that you're not the types. So which one fucking is it? Daniel left the phone, so he says, when searching, so GPS can't track him, but said he used a light in the culverts and dirt roads. Yeah, that's interesting to me. Danny, why would you go and search, you say, in every culvert? See, that would tell me that you're looking for dead kids. That somebody has stuffed them in a culvert. Is that what happens to kids when they disappear? They end up in culverts? What would make you say culvert to begin with? He's just always looking for that justification. He's normalizing himself being out there searching with no real clear path as to where or why he's searching where he is. Especially considered you just saw the kids or just heard the kids not too long ago. They can't be that far. If you're this far, something else has happened. Well, luckily, the RCMP are just back at your house. Why don't you go talk to them? Oh, I don't think so. No, this is Malaya's problem. In my mind, they're putting this all in Malaya on that Friday. Like they were putting this on Malaya, then getting the hell out of Dodge in that sense. She let Malaya do all of the communicating and the dealing with people. She was made because these were her kids. Why, you know what I mean? Not that it was right, but it was just what was going on. They didn't want to be around the RCMP. They didn't want to have to get caught up that early in all of the bullshit that they were going to eventually have to come out with. It's better that Malaya portray the story and Danny and Janie just come along after the fact and play along and pretend that they're disgruntled and so, moved with emotion. They're going to look for these kids for the rest of time until they find them. Well, at some point, you've got to stop. At some point, you've got to start. People who don't know any better take that and don't recognize that it's just Daniel walking around out there with no clear direction. But yet, magically, they came across a fucking boot print in some random fucking area. They didn't say that it had anything to do with Lily. They just said it looked like a child's boot print. They made it out to look like it was something, potentially. And she's so concerned with everybody being notified that she's lost her kids. That would be the last fucking thing on your mind. How about where the hell is Jack and Lily? I'm going out there to find them. Well, I can't go because I've got to carry Meadow on my hip. Danny makes me. She probably tapes Meadow to her because it's a shield against what Danny's going to fucking do to her. This guy is off his frickin' rocker. A figures, Lori. You're going to give that... No, how about they meet the criteria of an Amber Alert? How about that? Oh, for sure, Robin. She definitely will be an accessory after the fact. They'll all be with this cockamamie story.
It is just making everybody's life miserable. And it's also hurting the children of all these rumors. And they got to stop. So I'm here to tell you the truth on my side of what I have seen and what I have heard. I've been telling everybody from the start of this, I had no involvement in the disappearings of Jack and Lily. I gave the investigators the same story that I'm telling you guys. I did not have anything to do with what Malaya, what if Daniel has said or done.
Well, isn't that an interesting little trailer? Janie says that she doesn't have anything to do with what Malaya or Daniel has done. Did I just hear that right? Oh my God. Well, there she goes again. She didn't have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Well, okay, but you do have everything to do with providing and corroborating a false alibi. That would make you an accessory after the fact, and much, much more. Tampering with evidence. Holy fuck, they're going to throw the book at you, you old bag. But that's a slip. She doesn't have anything to do with whatever it was that Daniel and Malaya got into. Whatever they did is their business. I'm not responsible for what it is that they have done. That's what she's saying. Maybe you're only saying one part if what you wrote. Are you drinking wine tonight? You're on... Lori, you got to be drinking, girl. I don't even know what you're making. You're posting, but you're not making any sense. Or I'm not reading it right. I don't think it's me. I don't seem to have any problems with other people. She has the knowledge and is going to prison too. Absolutely, Robin. She has all kinds of knowledge. She has so much knowledge that she told you that she doesn't know anything. At what point did this become a disappearance to all of these individuals? It's always been a disappearance. You know, there's no real clear trigger of an event that would indicate the need to call the RCMP. That's missing from this whole story. That's Malaya's instinct, right? Remember? Old fucking Mama Bear? Old Mom of the Year Malaya Brooks had some instinct and applied it to call to the RCMP. It makes absolutely no sense because you never searched yourself. More like you were told to call the RCMP.